Xbox's Developer Direct proves one thing. The right games are the answer to its survival, not just a service giving you any game it wants. Let's approach this Dev Direct from the standpoint that Xbox is on its last leg. Because with recent internal leaks and rumors, Microsoft has allegedly given Xbox a final push to acquire 100 million Game Pass subscriptions by 2030, or it will cut Xbox off. This means everything Microsoft does with Xbox starting from 2025 onwards should be stemmed from one question. Will it increase Game Pass subscribers? Will it get Xbox off life support? In the case of the Developers Direct last week, the answer is yes, especially if they continue on that path. And I'll go through each of the 4 games and tell you why it's a really good path that they're going on right now, while breaking down Game Pass's effectiveness when used the right way. Ali B Gaming here with another great discussion. Please subscribe if you're either a well-informed gamer looking for unique perspectives, or if you're just digging the content. To understand Game Pass's effectiveness, you have to compare it to the ultimate subscription standard, Netflix. Netflix's job is to give you access to the right content consistently. This is why this developers conference is a step in the right direction, because the games that were showcased appealed to the masses. This means most people likely found the game they want to play shown in the Dev Direct. Naysayers will claim that most, if not all, of the games shown in the Dev Direct are coming to PlayStation. However, that claim is irrelevant because the ideal Game Pass player don't buy games they already have access to. Therefore, when Xbox brings the right third-party games to Game Pass, it kind of makes the game look exclusive for Game Pass subscribers. They just watched a showcase where 4 huge titles are coming to their service. If you analyze closely, each game brings a unique reason why the Game Pass service is elevating like it never has before. Let's start with Ninja Gaiden 4, a series that I believe inspired Dark Souls back in the NES days. Gamers were hungry for Ninja Gaiden, and Microsoft revealed it in the best way. First of all, you have Platinum Games Studio involved in co-creating this game. The people behind Bayonetta and Astral Chain, which some would argue have showcased some of the best action mechanics this generation. On the other side, you have Koei Tecmo and Team Ninja, who has been busy since Ninja Gaiden 3, making bangers like the critically acclaimed Neo series. Both companies have grown tremendously and are putting everything they learned into Ninja Gaiden 4. These challenging Dark Souls-esque, get good type of games have serious replay value, which ultimately will give Game Pass enough value to warrant a subscription. Not to mention, Xbox just shadow dropped Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. This has Xbox nostalgia written all over it, especially with the first Ninja Gaiden Black being exclusive to Xbox before it got inferiorly stigmatized to other platforms. With the game remastered in Unreal Engine 5, given modern controls and improved camera views, you're getting the definitive version of a game that has been slept on. Ninja Gaiden 2 easily brings back the excitement for the franchise as gamers await Ninja Gaiden 4 coming out this fall. Honestly, Microsoft, anything you can do to get old Xbox vibes into Game Pass, I'd say take it. Next, we have South of Midnight. Honestly, I wasn't entirely sold on South of Midnight, but that does not mean it lacked intrigue. The gameplay looks passable, but the setting and the story is worthy of getting me in the door. Where the music listeners at? Let's say you're listening to a hit or miss type of artist. Shout out Lil Baby, right? That one song is alright, so let me listen to the rest of the album and see what's going on, right? That's the type of energy that South of Midnight is given. One song leads to an interest in checking out the whole thing. That is why South of Midnight has room to surprise you. This is not bad, as strong curiosity is better than no curiosity. This is exactly where Game Pass, let alone streaming service, comes to the rescue and shows its true value. While other platforms have demos, Game Pass takes that to another level by telling you to play the whole game you're curious about. Not just a portion, but the whole thing. Best case scenario, South of Midnight becomes a sleeper hit like Psychonauts 2 and bolster up Game Pass's credibility in general. This is where the developer's direct style of presentation and reveal elevates the game. For example, we got to see the devs' passion and intentions behind South of Midnight. And thanks to Game Pass, you will have access to the full passion-led game with no financial commitment. All you need is just an open mind to want to play a game like that. No matter how this game delivers in its final cut, you will either consciously or subconsciously appreciate Game Pass for giving you the opportunity to try out these anticipated games. Say what you will about Redfall, it was anticipated, and you had access to see firsthand how bad it was. South of Midnight showcases the opportunity that Game Pass gives its subscribers to try out unique experiences. Moving on, you have a high-quality RPG titled Expedition 33. Last time we saw this game was the Xbox Game Showcase last summer, where this was declared one of the most anticipated titles. With the way game reveals play out these days, I thought it would have been out in 2026, but lo and behold, this game is weeks away from hitting Game Pass. A potential game of the year hitting Game Pass, if not nominated for one, right? Long story short, if this game is executed well, it will elevate Game Pass to another level, same way House of Cards did for Netflix, right? And bring subscribers in droves. Before that original series, Netflix was probably mostly known for The Office and Gilmore Girls reruns, right? Look at it this way. We're in a similar moment in Game Pass history where the Starfield Direct made the game look amazing on paper and sent waves throughout the industry. Unlike Starfield, we do hope that E33 can deliver. We saw the Dev Direct last week, right? Where we got that awesome insider news where the one developer left his job to join in with his friend because he had a great vision for a game. Stuff like that gets us really excited. How can you not root for them, especially with all the foolery and agenda going on in the games industry these days? Man, we're living in a Final Fantasy Rebirth, Persona, and now Metaphor ReFantazio kind of world. There is definite room for E33, and having it on Game Pass makes the deal a whole lot sweeter.
But we can buy Expedition 33 on the PlayStation or Steam day one.
Alright, we're going back to that argument, right? Normally, I would follow this up with an intellectual counter-argument, but I'd only be talking to Game Pass haters at this point. So here's a universal statement often said to people like me. Hurry up and buy. It's all you need to tell a Game Pass hater these days, and if you're Asian, it probably hits twice as hard. Lastly, you have Doom: The Dark Ages. Doom is a certified blockbuster title, the third entry in the modern Doom franchise. To comprehend how big of a deal this is, understand that a lot of Game Pass's value comes from existing popular titles hitting the service, or the new day one releases that we're not familiar with, but we're trying to find out if it's good. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. So with that said, this makes games like Doom: The Dark Ages a somewhat uncharted territory for Game Pass. This is a new release of a popular, established title. Say it with me, popular, established title. Very similar to COD Black Ops 6, which is on the biggest scale of what I'm talking about. On a smaller scale, I'd say Plague Tale's Requiem. Since the COD Black Ops 6 release on Game Pass, Xbox has been putting must-play titles, such as Indiana Jones. And with this Dev Direct, it seems that Game Pass isn't done with the bangers, especially if they're given Doom: The Dark Ages on a platter. From a gameplay perspective, people are a bit worried about Doom potentially slowing down its combat based on what was shown. Valley B hot take coming here. I think modern Doom has reached its peak with Doom Eternal. The ceiling was nearly reached. And that's what, if they didn't switch it up, the previews would be getting bigger flack than it is now. Great franchises evolve their gameplay. Shout out to Elden Ring. Doom: The Dark Ages is one of those Game Pass releases that make people say, Microsoft is giving out games for free. I'm sure you heard that phrase before. Games like COD, Indie, and a special mention to Persona Reload 3. I just beat that game. Thumbs up. It'll have you say Microsoft is out here giving it for free. Do you know how much of a compliment you're giving Game Pass? You're paying a monthly fee for a service that gives you full access to its library, and you proceed to say that you are getting it for free. You thought Game Pass fans were annoying when Starfield or COD came out, You better get Game Pass out of your FYP or your algorithm come May, or you will hate the internet. Day one, new Doom entry on Game Pass is a big effing deal. There is no other way to put it. Overall, the Xbox Developers Direct is the biggest momentum shift in Xbox history. I'm ready to say that. There has never been this many large-scale games down the Game Pass pipeline. Game Pass hasn't even gone fully mainstream yet. You know, they're in that similar Netflix phase where they're surviving off of Friends reruns, Office, Gilmore Girls, right? Lending out a few DVDs here or there. Xbox recently started its marketing rebranding not too long ago. We, the well-informed gamers, know the deal about Game Pass, but the masses don't. With the Xbox Dev Direct, Microsoft is telling us the true Game Pass era is beginning. It's ready, and I hope they're right. Game Pass reaching 100 million subs in 5 years? Nothing's impossible. How do I think they'll get there? Let's say, Valley B, always optimistic, right? I'd say, build a consistent release of what I call the big boy titles. The you're giving this game out for free kind of titles. You do that all year round for the next 2 years, Game Pass will catch motion and will reach the casual's ear. I get it. You got the universal games, right? There's rooms for Bluey, but there's also rooms for bangers. You do that for 5 years, you may even surpass your 100 million sub goal. With that said, good luck. You got to the end of this video, consider like, share, and subscribing, and let's keep overthinking cool things going on in the games industry together. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm pretty active. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.